Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. What are we? Calm, cool, collected, prepared for any parameters that might befall us. Step 1, speed's okay. Pob V, E64L. Speed's okay. Tier's okay. Actually, tier's great, let's be honest. Rate of fire is also another word for tiers, so that's great. Damage is acceptable. Not amazing, but acceptable. HP, probably a little bit above average, to be honest, with a little bit of built-in deal with the devil protection if we can make it last long enough. And spacebar item and other various items actually pretty bad. Like Bum Friend and the Jar are two... I mean, I would say that... Oh, it's Jar of Flies! Never mind. Okay. Bum Friend is horrible. Useless at best. Or near useless at best. And actually deleterious at worst. But Jar of Flies is so much better than the Jar. Okay, I don't know if that gets us any closer to Beelzebub, but I am actually way more happy, or way happier, I should say, with the quality of this run. Now that I know it's Jar of Flies. If it was the Jar, it would have been just awful. By the way, I'm not actually saying this is like a big deal. Why do they both have to be jars? I guess Jar of Flies, is that a reference to... I was gonna say a Creed album. No, that's a reference to Alice in Chains, isn't it? I've been having a weird Alice in Chains related week. Because, like, someone tweeted me and said, hey, you made a reference to Them Bones by Alice in Chains in an Isaac episode once. You should do more Alice in Chains references. I'm not really a huge Alice in Chains. I mean, I'm not a non-fan. Yo, that's very helpful. But I've never really listened to them religiously. I'm familiar with them through classic rock radio and Rock Band, etc., etc. Then, mere hours after reading that tweet, I was at the hockey game. One of the teams got a penalty, and they played I'm the man in the box. Go, 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 go. And I was like, what a befitting song. That's perfect. I mean, here's the thing. A hockey game is not high art. It's not very subtle for them to play man in the box. It's kind of like a, no S Sherlock that some people at least wanted to see in the Avengers. But, again, you're also not dealing with, like, mature themes. It's the man I like who's wearing the shirt that I'm wearing shot the puck into the net. I like it. I mean, there's storylines and context and etc., etc. But anyway. I mean, that's the end of the Alice in Chains reference, but you get the idea. And then we got Jar of Flies, I guess, here. Full stop. That's like the end. I mean, you probably don't need me to tell you this, but this run looks stellar. Not, Alice in Chains. That's actually an Incubus song. Probably Elon Musk's favorite song, if I had to guess. You can decide for yourself whether that's a jab or a haymaker. I think we're just gonna go. Honestly, I mean, we have great rate of fire, great damage, HP's fine. We're generating flies. This is, and we got to be a little careful. Is what I was going to say. It's emblematic of our recent strategic change in Isaac. What's our recent strategic change? No deal with the devil is inherently good. No deal with the devil is inherently bad. They all depend. Well, this is not a good situation to illuminate this because it's going to be free regardless. But it all depends on context. Very smart of me. Don't take something good. Nah. Quote-unquote good just because it's there, You'd rather, leave a great item if it allows you to survive. Because our HP is not... I mean, it's actually very good, especially now with the Bone Heart, but it's not like lights out. But yeah, this is solid. Hope everybody's enjoying your new year so far. I'm spending 2019 much as I've spent 2018 playing a lot of Isaac and Slay the Spire. More variety is coming. It's literally just been like, it didn't occur to me how long this hockey tournament was until, it was on. So my parents, they leave for me, tomorrow. For you guys, probably like 6 days ago. Opens up a lot more time for me to get back to work. But it's been nice having like a little bit of a working holiday. Seeing my family, of course. Thank you for your understanding. Not that we've like worked less in the meantime, but like, you know, times have been a little unusual sometimes, and I'm happy to be back. That's what I mean to say. Looking forward to a productive 2019. It was crazy, you know, people around me were talking about 2021 because that's the next time Canada hosts this hockey tournament. You ever wonder, like, why, you know, Canadians love the World Juniors? Well, I mean, we apparently every other year we host it. It's not really fair, but, you know, simultaneously, China's hosting the Olympics again. The heck? We just had him in 2008. The Olympics only happen once every 4 years. That's like, it's a real quick return to the well. Yo, deal with the devil. Ooh, there's some good stuff here. So, this, as of right now, I do think we want to take both. I do want to see if this guy can pay out with something regardless. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Rules card.
I think this is what we want. And you might say, NL, my mans, why would you take piercing shots when you already have it? There's a case to be made for that. But we had the HP to not make it, you know, dire. And it doubles the damage of the shots and makes them home after they hit an enemy. So I will agree that as of right now, it looks like, if anything, if we could go back in time, we'd re-roll Sagittarius. But the speed upgrade from Sagittarius is not terrible. We just would have been hoping for something a little bit more majestic. We probably wouldn't have taken Super Bandage, to be honest, either, but it's all okay. Like, everything on this run is coming up roses right now. And we took 9 lives for, I mean, defensive survival, but also, you know, the guppy chance in the future. I actually feel like, I mean, we would love Transcendence, but we need another bomb. In all likelihood. But yeah, it feels good. You know, January, not really anybody's favorite month. If I remember correctly, well, I mean, if your birthday's in January, it probably changes things. If I remember correctly, isn't there like a, there's like a saddest day of the year? I forget how they determine it. It's like, you know, based on surveys of people's moods or something like that. But it's like the 3rd Monday in January is statistically like the saddest day. Now, don't even tweet me and be like, my birthday's the 3rd Monday in January. No, it isn't. That's not how birthdays work, okay? Probably. Unless you're... No. I was like, unless you're Jesus? But that's... We already talked about the Easter thing. We have to go in here. I still don't get it, mostly because people explained it to me when I wasn't listening. And whose fault is that? But I still am like, how is it that he, you know, December 25th is supposed to be? And I know it's a bastardized pagan holiday, okay, I understand. But you're not talking to Richard Dawkins here. I'm just trying to spitball some bits, right? December 25th is supposedly Jesus Christ's birthday. Why is Easter so hard to remember? Shouldn't it be 3 days after my dude died? I don't know. You can explain it to me again. Just make sure I'm listening this time. Tweet me at a time when you know I'm looking at Twitter. When is that? I don't know. Sounds like your problem, honestly. Alright, that's just ignorant. Yeet. Starting to feel like we would really, really, really benefit from... well, I don't want to ask for more damage, because our DPS is actually really good. But against single targets, we're looking a little weak right now. By the way, I'm an idiot, and I totally could have gotten Transcendence. That's the kind of mistake that it sobers you up from an Isaac-related standpoint, you know? You don't want to be throwing away what essentially amounts to a free ability to fly. That's not conducive to having successful runs. So we'll, you know, hopefully get over it, but still. Speed upgrade. Nope. I don't think we want it. IV bag is very great in a few specific sort of situations. This is not one of them, I think. Especially because we already have, I wouldn't say a superior spacebar item, but a spacebar item that helps us generate quite a lot of momenti. So place this. Paid for itself. We'll use a bomb to get those other ones as well. We really, give me Guppy's hairball. The best Guppy item we could ask for right now. Whoop. You know, this is a tough one. I think I will take nothing. The nail is tempting, but I think I'm happy with Jar of Flies. Yeah, just leave through the one that hurts you. Why not? And Judas' Shadow is actually, I mean, it's very good, but simultaneously, we're never, ever going to be able to use it. You know, it's just not conceivable that we'll find the opportunity to use Judas' Shadow when we have 9 lives in advance of it. We'd have to spend like 10 minutes just walking into fire. Or, you know, fight the Hush once. Both of which I'm unwilling to do. I decided not to get the 2 keys for a bomb back there, by the way. You gotta pick your battles in Isaac, you know? We're letting the opposing army take over like a Walmart so that we can have access to a Whole Foods. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what it is. By the way, excuse me, this is my money. Say it with me one more time. It's my money. Definitely not getting any of those. I have to, if we get an orbital here, then we'll take Book of Shadows. Otherwise, I think we're really, you know, wise to keep our existing Jar of Flies, because the damage output from that is really, really good. Plus, at any given point, we're only ever like 1 hive mind away from not doubling our DPS, but getting mighty close. And Dank Depths XL. We got to be careful about a run like this. It looks good, but it's going a little bit too fast. You know, it's a run where everything looks fine, and then we get through this floor in, you know, 4 or 5 minutes, and we realize that was a panic bomb. Haven't had one of those in a while. We get through this floor in 3 or 4 minutes, or well, probably a little bit more, now that I'm looking at the actual damage we're doing, and we realize, like, wait a minute, you know, everything's doing double damage right now. And we didn't really, typify ourselves. We weren't made aware of that in advance. There's nothing I could do, dude, quote unquote. What am I talking about? Look, I don't know. I'm only ever looking out for number 1 here, trying to make sure, I mean, 26-ish, I think, wins in a row. You know what? Go ahead. That's a good opportunity for you to take some of that cash. There's a lot to pay attention to here. There's a lot to care about. 30 wins in a row is basically a month of wins. Because you got to factor in, you know, 2 videos a day, yes, but usually 1 is a daily. Now, we definitely have more streak runs than dailies, just because it's impossible to record more than 30 dailies in a month. Or 31 in some months, but... And yes, I know, okay, so like... February also has 28 days, except, don't forget, in years divisible by 4, but not divisible by 100, it also does have 29. You know, that's not the way people talk in real life. You know, if you want to feel superior to your school friends by trying to remind them that February has 28 days, sure. But, like, this, we're not in an edge case-based situation. I'm just trying to iterate a point here. By the way... I can't believe I didn't get hit. I got so rattled. We need damage. Desperately. 5.04, I should say, damage is not going to carry us into the late game. And when I say that, what I mean is that it could carry us into... That's helpful, too. It could carry us into the late game, but I would rather it didn't have to. The shop is what I'm most looking forward to here. Betrayal is like... It's not called Betrayal, it's called Backstabber, by the way. Apparently. Just learning this for the first time. But I will entertain Descent on this one. But I think it's a trash tier item. I'm very unhappy to see it on Deals with the Devil. I'm also unhappy to see it for free. And that's usually a bad sign. Very large floor. It turns out these XL floors tend to be a little bit larger than their other counterparts. Whoop! But you know, if I could go back in time and change anything on this run, I don't think I would. I feel like, you know, not in like, I hate when people say, and you hear this all the time, especially on Facebook if you're unfortunate enough to have not deleted your account yet. I don't have any regrets in my life because everything that I did led me to be the person that I am today. Thank you. Right there. You know, I find that very dishonest, you know? Everybody's got some regrets in their life. And I think to say that, you know, well, you know, I don't regret... This is an example not related to me, but, you know, I don't regret getting that DUI because if I hadn't gotten that, then, you know, I would never have learned the lesson not to drive drunk. Here's the thing. Most people learn that lesson, you know, before they're even, like, 10 years old, that you shouldn't be doing that. So how about, like, I regret not learning that lesson earlier before the consequences became, you know, paramount. Regardless. That's not my opinion on this run. You know, I wouldn't change anything just because I think everything that we've taken has helped us out. Maybe we could justify getting rid of, or re-rolling Super Bandage with the re-roll machine, but, well, thank God for this shop.
Perks.
Perks! I think we're ready to go then. We're very, very, very unlikely to do Boss Rush. Very good odds of a Deal with the Devil, though. All I want to see, I don't care about red hearts. One red heart would be okay. It's not like we have a choice in the matter. Sure. Then we can do a 1 red heart Deal with the Devil instead of 3 spirit hearts, because the bone heart applies like that. Bone after the teeth. We're looking a lot better, really just because of Cricket's head. I mean, every damage upgrade filters through the run, you know, it helps out in a variety of different ways. Certainly Polaroid. It helps out our flies. Helps out our actual DPS, obviously. I'll lose some Spirit Arts to make this happen, dude, especially with permanent Polaroid invincibility. Kinda sucks. But we got another Demon Judgment anyway, dude. I'm ready. These might be, you know, you're like, oh, these are dangerous Deals with the Devil. I disagree, dude. We're probably getting Deals with the Devil cheaper than 3 Spirit Hearts. Mind you, we can't choose but not to take them. But, I mean, we will take Missing Page 2, even though it kind of sucks. Drowsy? Tears Up is great, so I think, you know, that's worth it just in and of itself. We are now extremely tiny. I don't like any of the other items. And what's on Boss Rush? It's so close. I mean, both Proptosis and Cricket's Body are extremely good here. Hit me with that snooze button, Windows, and also a good reminder to make sure I still have space on my computer. Yas. I think we're gonna say no. Specifically, I'll tell you, I'm saying no because Boss Rush is dangerous. You know, we're not going to be able to use Jar of Flies on Boss Rush to get a huge, like, leg up on the competition. I wanted damage. We had the opportunity to get damage, but I wasn't willing to pay the cost. And that's kind of the theme of this new streak. It's an older streak. It's a more conservative streak. I would describe it as a more reasonable streak than just, yeah, we'll D6 every run and hope we don't run into trouble. I'm proving to myself I've got the ability to make good decisions, you know, to examine context. And etc., and etc. It's a great Jar of Flies room right here. I'll tell you right off the bat, though, we kind of struck out on a few deals with the devil. We'll spend 2 spirit hearts in here, maybe 1.5. Well, I don't really see Guppy happening, especially with that curse room being a little on the whack side. Should never play chicken with these enemies. That's 100% my bad. But we should be totally fine. Like, if we were gonna lose a run, it better not be this one. That's all I'm saying. Lots of good streaks going on in the Isaac community right now, too. So, you know, I don't want to be the first to break. Mind you, I think Cobalt was at like 80-something wins in a row. So we have like 2 more months of straight wins to get to the point that he's at as of the time of this recording. We don't even need to open that. Like, sure, maybe there's a 0.5% chance of us taking damage from the red poop, but I don't even want to tempt fate just to pick up 4 cents. We're never going to fight Hush. I'm just being honest with you. The only time on this streak, there's 2 situations in which I'll fight Hush. One is we have the Chaos card. The other one is that the run is so unbelievably set that we just go, yeah, why not? Like, if it's among the most powerful runs I've ever had, then we'll consider it. Oh, easy money. So yeah, we're looking very, very good right now. Hopefully, you know, today's January 6th. I'm a very pro New Year's resolution sort of guy, by the way. I disagree with my friend Malf on this one. I understand the enlightened, and it's not even fair to say this, but the enlightened centrist opinion about New Year's resolutions, which is like, if you want to make a positive change in your life, why wait till January 1st? There's some fairness there, obviously, but you know, I'll actually give you one good reason. A lot of New Year's resolutions are related to diet and exercise, and the holidays, people have a lot of things on the go. So, you know, it's kind of hard to... It's not... If it's worth doing, everybody knows. It's not like a radical opinion to be like, well, if you want to get healthy, you know, the best time to start is today. Sure, but, you know, it's Christmas. Eating a lot of big family meals, celebrations, etc., etc. So I think there's a case to be made there. Plus, like, if something's worth doing, I think it's cool if you recognize there's a problem in your life and you start doing something about it, you know, on December 10th, that's cool. But if you go, well, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right away, and then you just use that as a justification to feel smug over the people who are changing things on January 1st, and then never actually enact any changes in your own life, which I'm not saying that's Malf, I'm just saying that it's more of a description of me from the ages of, like, you know, 15 to, how old am I now? But, you know, I'll always, anytime there's, like, a day for recognizing your own faults and then trying to improve upon them, I think it's a good thing. But I will say, as of January 6th, what percentage of New Year's resolutions do you think are still in play? Now, if you've already busted your New Year's resolution, consider the corollary to the Malf hypothesis. Why not just start anew on January 6th or January 7th or whatever day it is today, you know? Instead of waiting for, you know, next, you know, you're waiting for 2020, you can start to get a handle on it right now. Still knock out like a 99% clean year and be much improved heading into the next year. But also, I understand. Sometimes people, when they build up a goal in their mind, they tackle it in a way that ends up becoming unsustainable. People that are like, you know, one I see commonly is like, I'm going to learn programming. And then like January 1st, they're like, I did 12 hours of Udemy today. And then January 2nd, they're like, I did 10 hours of Udemy today. And January 3rd, they're like, I didn't do any free code camp today because I did so much in the last 2 days. And then January 4th, they're like, I did an hour of free code camp today. January 5th, they're like, you know, radio silence. And then like 11 months later, they're like, my New Year's resolution is to finally learn programming. I don't have any tips on motivation, you know? I wouldn't feel confident giving them out without being a perfect specimen myself. The only thing, you know, and it's unhelpful. You're not going to like this advice. I'm not a reddit.com/r/getmotivated sort of guy. Basically, like, whenever people complain about not doing something that's relatively easy or not time consuming, my advice is always like, just do it. And that's not helpful at all. It's also my advice to myself, you know. I'll be like, man, I really want to start exercising this year and get in decent shape again. And then people will be like, well, why don't you just exercise like 45 minutes 3 times a week and then eat clean? And I'm like, man, well, when I said I wanted to, what I meant was I wanted the results specifically. I didn't actually want to go through the slightest amount of effort to make it happen. But whenever, you know, sometimes people will be like, I don't want to say millennials, okay? But sometimes people will be like, I'm hungry. And you're like, well, go get some groceries. And they're like, I don't feel like it. And then they're just hungry. And I'm like, well, why don't you just do it? It's like a half-hour errand. You could just be done with it. That's one. I have no tolerance to that in myself. You know, I don't allow that kind of layaboutness to persist. Sometimes it'll be like 10 p.m. and I'll be like, I don't have stuff to have for breakfast tomorrow. Drive to the grocery store, you know, get back in 30 minutes. I feel glad that I've done something to improve my station. This run ended up being way faster than I expected. Anyway, that's... People might say, you know, like, why is your work ethic... You know, what do you mean you don't know motivation and stuff like that? You know, you work a lot, you make a lot of videos, you stream consistently, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. That's, like, my job. I don't feel like that's motivation. Like, if you consistently show up to your 9-to-5 job... I think we're in basically the same boat. Yeah, I mean, some days I'm like, I don't feel so hot, and I still show up, admittedly. But I think that's true for, like, the vast majority of the workforce, you know? It's a hobby that became a job, but it's still a job, you know? So the fact that I get paid for the work that I do... I mean, if you got paid to exercise, you would probably exercise more frequently, right? Especially once you got into it. You'd be like, I can't stop. This is a cash cow. That's not a metaphor. For Isaac. Anyway. It's deliberately not, but I can't resist making the joke. At the risk of sounding ungrateful, okay? I know we have 5 rate of fire, lots of flies, piercing shots ×2, basically. 11 damage. For whatever reason, I still find myself being like, meh, I'm gonna be glad when this one's over. Yeah, I'm gonna be glad when this one's over so we can go to a run that has, you know, 1 HP for 4 floors. That's forward thinking. Dude, he almost got me. I can fly, so it wouldn't have done anything, but still. But still, something about this run is just like, I don't know, unremarkable. Good, but, I don't know, I feel like I've got a cognitive load as well. Because of the fact that, you know, I'm so tiny, I have to work just a little bit harder to see myself on the screen. Now, that's a millennial opinion. I mean, I was reading this, there's a big article about burnout that just came out, and it was making all the rounds. And I do believe burnout is a real thing, but it was also using these case studies of millennials who are my age and then suffer from several of the same problems that I suffered from, like, anxiety related. Like, one guy was like, I'm not going to be able to vote because I just couldn't motivate myself to mail in my voter registration. And the opinion in the article was that millennials, you know, as a result of monetizing all their hobbies and, you know, being overworked, basically, are suffering from chronic burnout and can't motivate themselves to do basic tasks that don't actually improve their station in life, but are important things to do regardless. Errand paralysis is another word for it, another phrase for it. I don't know, man. I'm not a scientist, but I was also like, hey, dude, why don't you just get off your butt and mail the letter? It'll take you like 15 minutes. I know it's maybe not that easy, but maybe it is. I don't know. We had a referendum in British Columbia. We mailed it. I mail like mail things all the time. Now, I don't like the phone, but I will still use the phone if I have to improve my lot in life, you know? I'll make a reservation at a restaurant or something like that, or, you know, I've made important phone calls as well. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I do believe burnout is a real thing, but I don't know if, I guess I worry that maybe the article, especially after it going viral, now becomes justification for errand paralysis. So now instead of being like, I feel guilty that I didn't do this thing that I'm supposed to do, instead you're like, don't question the fact that I didn't do this simple task because I have suffered from chronic burnout. Anyway, this is a discussion for another video. But for now, thanks for watching, and because you've enjoyed the episode, if you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya! How many wins in a row? How many wins in a row? 27. Let's go.